Okay, round number 4. This hand's a little bit of a sketch ball, but I'll keep. We could pinch off a turn 2 either Cascade or Fulminator Mage. And we're pretty Thoughtseize redundant. Darn, they do have targets for Inquisition. Imagine if these are just all Minotaur or all Carabids and Minotaurs and stuff. So they probably take Spirit Guide here. But if they don't have a fast clock, Suspending Living End is actually good. Especially main deck when they don't have their graveyard hate. Living End really was a deck where you're trying to steal a win on game 1. Because people's sideboard tends to be pretty straightforward for you. Just play a land that doesn't hurt and pass the turn. That was nice. We drew Cascade Spell. It's always a little frustrating for them when you Living End and you don't take a Cascade Spell. Because, I mean, Cascade is the mechanic that makes this deck playable. It's not like current Modern Living End where you can just kind of get by casting endurances and subtleties and forces and stuff. Like, you got a Cascade. Alright, this looks like Death Shadow. The way their opponent's being pretty cavalier with their life total. Nice, another Cascade spell. Could have held that up. Oh, nice. That's really good. Now I can use all my mana. I was just thinking I could have held... Oh, no, Simian Spirit Guide's in my graveyard anyway, so... Couldn't make Tarmogoyf any smaller. Okay, now as long as our next 2 draw steps aren't both Living End, it's looking pretty good for us. And our opponent does have incentive to commit to the board because they saw our hand and there was no Cascade in it. Okay. Not bad. I think I'll discard... Oh, I don't know. Living End. Seems like a good card to discard. Cycle. Hopefully we get like a Street Wraith. That would have been good last turn. Let's just... That's actually still a good draw. Now whatever their follow-up play to try to stabilize is, we have Shriekmaw for it. And it was our first card on top of our deck. You love to see it. Alright, I still think this is a Shadow variant. Or it's just Abzan. There are some junk players in this format. I did look over one tournament result report. I guess I sacrifice Harambe. Now, if they have the card Kalidas Trader of Get, that could be unbeatable. Because you get this horrible situation that comes up. I can't remember if Kalidas is legal in this format or not, but that card used to be so bad because you just had to ram your Monstrous Carabids into it, and it had lifelink, and it would get bigger. They ink us, they take our final Demonic Dread, and then they probably scoop. And there used to be a Star City Games replay of somebody using Kalidas against a Living End player, and it was just so painful. Lingering Souls. Okay, this is just junk. Junk, junkity, junk, junk, junk. I wonder if I want to have Leyline. Probably not. All right. Everything at Lily to make sure it dies. If I don't send everything at Lily, they can block 2, save Lily, and then use it to make a sack next turn. They only have 2 cards in hand. But then no Tarmogoyf can't save them. They probably want to hold these spirit tokens back. to try to draw out the game long enough to draw something like a Hunt Master. No, they can't have a Hunt Master. They could have, I don't know, Siege Rhino. What could they have to get them back in the game? Like Path to Exile, Liliana Swamp. Okay, Fulminator not bad, but not what I want right now. Cast the Shriekmaw. I could have evoked Shriekmaw and played Fulminator to target their lands. I don't think that's necessary yet. Although an Inquisition of Kozilek could punish this. I cannot pass through combat when I have Monstrous Carabid in play. Opponent opts to gain 8 life. This is a little worse against Damnation. They have Murmuring Bosk. Oh baby, we've been talking about this card in real Living End and Modern. I am going to play Junk Living End at some point. I don't know how I'm going to Cascade, but I'm going to do it. Because nobody can stop me. Alright, I want Shriekmaw, Shriekmaw. I don't know what they have. Okay, what do I want? I mean, I could bring in a Leyline to beat Thoughtseize Liliana. I don't think that's what I want to do. They probably have Rest in Peace. So I think I want to leave in Beast Within. Game number 2. This hand is okay. I think it looks a little better than it is because it doesn't have a Shriekmaw. It cannot be Inquisitioned, though. Yes. Alright, our opponent pays 1 and discards a card. Alright. Outburst was a decent draw. They're probably going to have another Thoughtseize. Well, I don't know if they're going to have another Thoughtseize, but I did need to draw it eventually. So it was a necessary draw. They could have Rest in Peace. I'd never seen last round's deck just straight up Jeskai Twin. Back then we just called it Blue, White, Red or American. I had a friend that called it Patriot. Shout out if that guy's watching. Oh, they Thoughtseize us. Okay. Darn, unlucky. Definitely going to leave Basic Swamp in my deck because they could have Path. I kind of want to draw some action. So I'm going to use my Minotaur. Very pretty good. I will cycle Street Wraith here. That's also pretty good. So I will Black Leaves and pass the turn. This isn't the biggest graveyard. Gavany Township. Is this a Collected Company deck? I don't think it is. I mean, the problem with Living End here is they could just go path, and then I basically, like, don't have much going on. I'm going to do it anyway. I also have this Raging Ravine to attack with if they have a bunch of Path to Exiles. Can they activate this? No. They're actually pretty close to activating this, though. Yeah, that was dumb. Deadshot has to take out Fairy. Oh well. Totally forgot about that. Not gonna lie. Playing pretty bad Magic today. But now it's there for my next Living End. They need green in order to activate this. There's Path to Exile. Use the ability. That's exactly what I said might happen. Sigarda, that's a really good card against us. Has hexproof, it has flying. They can't sacrifice permanents. That's a good one. This is what happens when you don't bother the opponent. I don't want to play out just a 4/4 monstrous Carabid. However, even though they can't sacrifice, I could just get a really big graveyard and attack past them. I think what I'm going to do is take out their person land. Gavany Township is a big mana investment. Yeah. I'm never blocking this card. Except with this fairy. And because there's no more swamps in my deck, I'll just discard Twisted Abomination. Well, actually... No, I'm just going to discard a land. If I cast it and they don't have a blocker, if they want to protect, like, Liliana, that could be a way to draw the game out. They don't attack. Interesting. Could have just misclicked there. Oh, no, it's obvious. They're leaving back. I just want to dig for Cascade spells now. If I cycle Deadshot Minotaur, it will be forced to take out my fairy. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to cast. Yeah, this just dies to Liliana, but it takes 2 loyalty counters off of it. I'm also out of fetchables. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 fetch lands. So I can't hurt myself. And that's about it. Huh, they don't. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, because Raging Ravine. I don't know, does Raging Ravine even matter? I'm going to take him off green if possible. This game's not going to go long enough for Gav. Like, if they start activating Gavany Township, they're just winning really hard anyway. It doesn't change the clock, so I think taking them off the ability to cast like a Scavenging Ooze is good. Should have played out my land. Oh well. They discard Tarmogoyf. Nice. And take some pressure off. I'd be dead by now if they attacked, by the way. They're just going for a Liliana kill, so I need to draw a Violent Outburst real quick. That's too many lands. That was the problem with this keep. This keep was bad. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't... It didn't have anything going for it. Yeah, they activate Gavany Township. Who cares? Sigarda still kills us in 3 turns. They can do 7 and then 8, which is 15. Discard my land. They discard a Thoughtseize. I think they should attack. Okay, we need to draw a Violent Outburst right now. Well, there's Fulminator Mage. That can take out Gavany Township and buy us a turn. Okay, I'm super dead, so. Will I have any flying blockers left? Fairy. I don't have any reach. I don't have Pale Recluse in the deck. I'm gonna do it still though. Do they get a flyer? No, no flyers for them. I'll just target myself. And then unfortunately, yeah, that Deadshot Minotaur has not really been very helpful. Alright, what do we want from our opponent? Like, if we start the game with Leyline in play, that's basically a Thoughtseize anyway, because we have less cards. Leyline of the Void, is that good? Don't think so. I think this is good. I'll keep this hand. This can get a quick living end off. They go for Noble Hierarch. That's really good if we draw Shriekmaw. I'm going to give him a turn. They have 3 lands now, but Lily's not that offensive because we can just discard Lily and end. They have Voice of Resurgence. I'll get Blood Crypt. And Cycle. Cycling doesn't affect Voice of Resurgence at all, but I'm still doing it. Ooh, darn. Another 1-mana cycler besides Architects would have been great. Opponent attacks for 1. Natural land would be nice. I'm going to look for a land. Our hand's pretty redundant now. So unless they mess with our graveyard badly on the next turn, oh my gosh. Unless they mess with the graveyard pretty badly here, we could set up a good turn. They take a Cascade spell. Opponent has a lot of lands anyway. I don't think Fulminator would have been that good. I mean, it would have been pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Especially if we would follow it up with the Living End. I would just rather use a real land. Land. All right. Well, what do we do here? No matter what, they're going to be left with 1 copy. But they're going to be left with 1 Voice of Resurgence token, no matter when I do this. The first one that triggers when I cast a spell on their turn doesn't matter, because it gets cleaned up. They're 1 land away from Sigardia. With Sigarda on the stack, I would cast Outburst. All right, they don't have Sigarda yet. They get a token. Cast. They get another token. Oh, they're going to end with 2 tokens. So target them and then target myself. All right. I would like Fairy on the bottom, then the land. Oops. Darn it. Well, not the worst. Yeah, that was terrible. Never mind. I messed that up. I forgot you can't go back. Okay. They can have... The last thing I want to give them is Tarmogoyf. So they can have Tarmogoyf, then Nile, and then Thoughtseize. And then I forgot, they end up with 2 tokens here. Oh, Forest Cycle. Free Stomping Ground. Play it tapped. And just attack with everybody. Hopefully they can't combo kill me next turn with these voices. They have to play 3 creatures. Oh, but darn. They could have Lingering Souls. Hopefully they don't have Lingering Souls. You know, I forgot how this worked. I thought they ended up with 1 voice token, not 2. Yeah, I played this pretty bad. It's been a while since I played against Voice of Resurgence with Violent Outburst. One of those cards is now banned, and the other one is unplayable. No, they have Maelstrom Pulse, and I'm out of Living Ends because I drew 2 of them. Oh my gosh. This is horrible. 2015 Modern with Living End, round number 4, 5. Not totally sure what round it is. Well, this hand's pretty good if Fulminator Mage is good. So I'll keep. We have our 3rd land, Impale Recluse, but it's a little bit slow. We don't have any Cascade spells. Opponent starts on Mutavault, Aether Vial. Could this be the Merfolk? Probably. It's either Merfolk or Humans, and it's probably Merfolk because they played Mutavault, which I don't think Humans plays. Merfolk doesn't have a lot of great ways to deal with Living End in its main deck, besides just rebuilding quickly. Go ahead and play the Tomb and take out Mutavault. That still doesn't do anything. I mean, it draws our opponent's cards and it gets their devotion up, but fortunately we're in a position where we can play around this. Sorry for the Discord notifications going off. I think I need to play Verdant Catacombs and get Blood Crypt. And then I could Beast Within this Aether Vial before it gets too high. 4 is kind of well, that's the number where they need for Master of Waves. Spreading Seas, okay, all right. Now that doesn't totally shut off my red mana because I can Beast Within the Spreading Seas. And I think I'll trade here. And I realized they could flash in a Lord and pump their Lord, but I want to save the life. And they're not going to be able to block anyway. Yeah, like, they probably should have just done that so they had Island Walk. So this has the ability of when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. And it's not the Spreading Seas that are losing this game for me. It's just the fact that I never drew Cascade Spell. Suspending Living End wasn't going to cut it. I'm just going to kill their creature. They don't get a Beast Within token this way. Cuts down on the damage I'm taking by a lot. The only 3 mana play they could have that buffs this again is Marrow Reejerey. Although I didn't know I was going to top deck a land like a total champion. They didn't attack with Mutavault. A little bit odd. Let's go ahead and cycle. I could have just cast Deadshot, but I don't think that's going to get it done. They probably have a 4-mana play here to file in because they've been going up. You know, actually, I should have kept my Beast Within for Master of Waves. That was bad. Alright, well, that was bad play. Let's concede the game and draw a card. So that was bad play by me. Good news is I do have a lot to bring in. I think I want to keep... I'm going to take out one Fulminator. I think I want to keep Simian Spirit Guide in. Fairy's not very good. Things that target the Phantasm might be good. Well, actually, no. I'm going to keep Architects of Will and take out Deadshot. Because on a land that has been hit by, what's that card called? Spreading Seas. I can cycle this. I will keep that. It's got our basics. That doesn't do anything in the face of Spreading Seas, though. But I'll keep it. And I'll put back Simian. Actually, I'm going to put back a Street Wraith. This might be my only red mana for the game. I guess I'll cycle so I can see what I want to play as far as lands go. Alright. They start on Aether Vial. I don't want to overcommit to the graveyard yet, though. Alright, depending on what they do here, I could Living End. If they put like a Chalice of the Void on the stack or a Relic of Progenitus. I think if they put Relic of Progenitus on the stack, I'm just going to fire it off. Yeah, okay. Hopefully they kept a hand with just like a bunch of nothing. And except for this Chalice or this Relic. Yeah, they don't have another land. Alright, good. There is Justice. Do I want to blow up any of these permanents? Yeah, I think I do. I'm not too afraid of this beast token yet. They have to draw another land, which they did. That was a little bit lucky. Target tapped creature. Okay. All right. We'll do that. Shriek Maw was a good draw. I could just cast it next turn, but that I'm going to go to 3, maybe 2. I'm going to start by cycling, seeing what I get. Even though it has less power than the beast. And Kosi's Trickster, whenever an opponent shuffles their library, put a counter on it. Okay. Well, we could still get the opponent to tap all their lands. Exile Beast Within. I'll pay the life down to 6. Not going to attack. Hopefully they tap out for a 2-drop here. I think I'm just going to go to their turn. Well, I might as well get an attack in. If I'm going to do that. Verdant Catacombs, not the best draw. cast Harambe. Gonna go to 1. This gives me the biggest board possible. And they have Spell Pierce. Oh well. This hand just needs some Cascade. I'm not actually sure if I'm currently live for the playoffs, however the playoffs work in this format. 3-2 right now. I'd imagine 4-2 could make it. And I think our opponent is on Boggles. We tried to play a match earlier and they had to go after only playing 2 lands. They're all green-white. That's a bad draw. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know what they're doing. I could hypothetically Street Wraith into Violent Outburst on their turn. Okay, they get Overgrown Tomb. It's just some sort of junk deck. Okay. There's the voice, or there's the Violent Outburst, I mean. I think I want to take opponent off of white mana. Because Path to Exile gets really good against us, especially if we draw our basics. Also, Overgrown Tomb is a swamp for Street Wraith. Could come up. I tried recording some 4-color Modern, 4-color Living End Modern. Someone played at the RC, but I played so bad that I just didn't. Cartel Aristocrat, okay. This is some sort of Aristocrat strategy. I mean, obviously. But usually Aristocrats decks are like, it's some sort of infinite combo with Self-Sacrifice, Melira, Viscera Seer, Murderous Redcap, Kitchen Finks, etc. Alright, I'm going to go for it. Raging Ravine, a little late. Since I've got 5 mana here, going to use Force Cycling. That is all of our basics, but it does get the spider in the graveyard. Don't do this on the opponent's turn. Cartel Aristocrat, well, they get it back. They were going to get this token anyway, but now they get their voice back. That's pretty good, actually. I mean, they don't get this token, but they get voice back. All right, opponents had enough. Yeah, Cartel Aristocrat usually wasn't used. Usually you play Viscera Seer. Viscera Seer decks are amazing against Living End. Because their battlefield and their graveyard are the same thing. I think I want these 6 cards in. I think I want Simeon out. I'm not sure what they have in terms of artifact or enchantment hate that we might care about. On the one hand, they're likely to path us, and so we don't need help getting our basics. But on the other hand, these are still just big monsters. But, you know, I've never sided these cards out, but maybe that's right. Because I don't really get anything for them. They're just 2-mana cyclers that might not even get a card. On the draw, I guess go down to Fulminator. I don't think they have flyers. And our flyers are likely to be in our graveyard. So I'll take these out. And I wish this was our other black card that cost 4. Is this a really good hand? It has land, nothing else. I can't cycle Architects. No, that's not a good hand. That is basically the same hand, except no Architects or Street Wraith. That's terrible. Go to 5 one more time. Gosh. Living in, you just want to be in my hands so bad. I can never stay mad at you though. And I'll put back. Hmm. Architects. I want to keep this fairy. I might have to go for a small living end just to stabilize. I could also just lose really fast. But fairy is going to buy me some time in the event that I have to do a small stabilizing living end to set up for the next one. Tactfully gets their basics and plays scavenging news. That's pretty awful for us. I'm just not going to give him anything to do. I'm not going to let scavenging news destroy my whole day. Okay, I guess I go up to... I want to start looking for lands now. And I could also naturally draw a third for Fulminator. Or I could draw 2 ley lines. Ley lines are just a little late to the party. Go ahead and get Overgrown Tomb. Play it tapped. See, now the problem is scavenging news can get huge, so now I really need to live in. They can clean up my whole graveyard now, though. So, opponent could have Siege Rhino, and we could not Shriek Maw because it's black. They could also have Restoration Angel. The fact that they're not playing anything kind of makes me think of Resto. Probably Collected Company. Yeah. I'm going to make them combo kill me on their next turn. Oh, they quit. Well, I think our opponent might have been a little bit flustered there, but I don't think that match was lost. They still had Kitchen Finks, Eternal Witness. They could start putting 2 counters on birds.